welcome back to another episode of God Built This podcast. I'm your host, Maxine, and we're on episode 182. Hello. I have missed you all. It's been a journey. And a horrible at that. I can't even... I'm going to do my best to briefly give you guys what took place the past almost 7 days to when everything just felt dark and cold and hot and yucky and lonely and who am I? Like, it was just this whole mind fuck situation that I've been going through. So anyway, it started on July 18th, 2022. Run it back. I decided to take a little stroll along a residential housing neighborhood, okay? Because I sometimes like to do that, just to kind of get the feel of the neighborhood, to see if I could see myself living here. You know, where would I go if I wanted to do a morning stroll? I will take this route, maybe I'll take another route here, and I could sit on these benches, or just stuff like that. So this day I was doing that, and I was taking a look at the homes too. Like, okay, the homes are kind of nice here, but let's look at the one that's on this block. So it's hot. But here in Houston, it's always hot. Like, it's not hot here, but in the past few days, it's been like concerningly hot, 104 degrees hot. And it's definitely to the point where they're even telling us, hey, maybe conserve your energy. Keep your AC no lower than this temperature. And we're going to get through this together. Like, niggas going to have it at whatever point they want. Because if I'm hot, no. Right? But so anyway, I think that day it was one of those days. So I don't know if it was exactly 104 that day, but maybe it was 101. So, but again, I'm not even thinking about it, because I'm just in this mission to just look around and complete my goal. So I'm thinking, okay, I could just, do some like walks here, one walk there, and then go ahead and walk right back into my car. But then while I'm walking, I'm taking pictures of like, I like how the layout looks like this for the garage, or I like the brick molding here, I like the crown here. Like, I just like looking at details like that so I could envision it for the home that I desire to live in. And so I'm doing that. It's a sunny day, of course. It's early afternoon. And, niggas. Oh, my God. Niggas. And I saw this one from a mile away, because I have these sensors in my body, in case you didn't know. I have these sensors in my body. I put it on my breast. I put a sensor right above probably like an inch above my titties, like the sticky sensor. Put one over there on my left titty, and I put one on my right titty, right on the same angle. So it's, it's like this equilibrium situation here, right? I also put another sensor right at the, that little boing, that little cornerstone of your stomach, on the side of your on your waist. I put a little sensor there, and I put a little sensor there. These are nigga sensors. That's what I put on my body. And it helps to just illuminate any mischief that may come my way, so that I know to act accordingly, right? It just helps me to feel more comfortable with whatever. So I won't always feel like I'm looking spoofed out, right, or spooked out, right? Because you never want to, growing up in Boston, I've learned to not look afraid. I've learned to just have a poker face. Like, I don't even see you. Who? Huh? Eye contact. I don't even see you. Like, seriously, growing up in Dorchester in Boston, I used to take the bus home from school after like a certain grade level. I remember doing that, and it was a journey. It was a journey because you got to deal with characters on the bus and then characters out the bus, characters loitering because they don't give a fuck about the no loitering sign. Like, what? You're loitering in front of the no loitering sign. Oh, so this doesn't apply to you because you're the cousin of the grandfather who built this thing, so it doesn't apply to you while you selling rocks on the corner? Oh, okay. So I'm dealing with all these characters because I just have a couple of blocks to go and I'm home because the house is still there. We still live in that house. It's legit a step skipping away. Like, it's so close to the bus stop from the school that I went to, the elementary school that I went to. And so every time I took the bus from school back home, I had to deal with just interesting characters. And the best mechanism for that is to poker face it up. Don't act like you're afraid because, they realize they have some power. Oh, I could scare you? Even though it should be obvious though, right? You're a little girl and this is an older man, but you gotta look fearless. So that's what I did. That's what I learned. And no one messed with me. No one said anything. No one like put their hands on me or anything. But people will say a few words here or there. But I'll just keep on walking and then try not to walk too fast, but walk fast enough, right? Like, don't just stroll through like, you making it too easy. Don't do all that. But just like walk like you got somewhere to go. Like, I ain't got time to talk. Don't even try to, no, not interested. No, don't. Like, that's how your walk should look like. So, anyway, that's where I learned it from. That's the point I said that. All right, that's where I learned it from. So I get to 2022, July 18th, with my sensory patches on, my nigger sensory patches on, in intricate places of my body. I knew the man on this bike from a mile away was gonna say something to me that day, that moment, that hour, right in 5, 4, 3, 2, get ready. So now he's in his whisper voice. And guys, what they do is when they start off with a whisper voice to you, I think it's like a defense mechanism. Like, I think it's it's a tone to use, maybe as a insecurity thing. Like, I'm afraid that she'll reject me and embarrass me, even though there's no one. People don't walk around in Houston. Like, Houston's not a walk around town, so it's not a town either. Like, so if I reject you, no one will know. Like, it's totally fine. And anyway, so maybe that's just his voice. Maybe that's just his voice. Maybe he does have a low. I don't know. You can speak up, nigga. You can speak up. If you trying to talk to someone, you can speak up a bit. We outside. Speak up. So anyway, so he's like riding his bike towards me, and then again, he's on his bike. I saw her from a mile away already, and I already had another antenna up. Like, okay, growing up in Boston, having so many like bikers around, not motorcyclists. There was definitely a lot of those. When I was talking about just like regular bicyclists, okay? They would not just ride their bike. Oh, I'm just taking a 30-mile stroll for the morning, Jane. I'm not talking about those types of bikers. I'm talking about the ones who probably didn't own that bike, you know? Or, you know, if they did, then okay, cool, that's great. But they're not just taking like very light rides around the neighborhood for quick exercise. No, they're learning how to do loopies. Is that what it's called? They're learning how to do tricks. They're learning how to ride over their partner's heads. It's just crazy shit. Like, just ride the bike. I just want to get to the corner store. Can you just get my bag of chips from the corner store? Huh? Just ride the bike, dog. Like, it doesn't have to be this extra stuff. So they're learning all those tricks. That's their thing. So when I saw this guy on July 18th, 2022, like swerving his bike, his purple bike, and moving it around and grooving, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe he was practicing some Lucy's or whatever they're called. So he kind of gets not close, but like close enough, right? Where you could tell he's about to say something. So I'm just like, but I didn't necessarily stop because again, I always learn, keep on moving. I'm not stopping for you. I don't know who you are. What's up? Like I'm gonna stand here prostrate and do what I have to do. Excuse me, to defend myself if you try to get crazy. So. What he said? It's hard for me to remember what he said because he's whispering. And maybe men feel like, maybe some men at least, I'm not saying put it on men. Maybe some men probably feel like, oh, if I hit them with a too strong of a voice, is going to intimidate them. I want her to feel comfortable with me type of thing. Does that make sense? Maybe is that? I don't know. So anyway... So I say, no. So he says, yeah, hey, miss, I hope you have a good rest of your day. That just like super low like that. So me, another defense mechanism that I learned growing up in Boston was to don't make eye contact, acknowledge what was said, give a head nod, if you want to, like, just don't do anything else. Just don't make eye contact and keep it going. So that's what I did. I think I even said I like, even when you say you too, thank you too, like saying all that, I know it sounds nice, but this is not the time to do that. You gotta, okay. Don't even say okay. Just be like, Like, you don't, and even the is too much. I don't think I said Maybe he even hear the maybe. I don't know. But what I did was, I didn't make eye contact. I gave him a faint smile and I just nodded my head. Yeah, that's what I remember doing. I just did those 3 steps, and while walking, like, not one time did I stop. So while he did that, I was still gun-ho focused and looking at whatever next line of homes I wanted to scope out. Like, there was no, oh my gosh, thank you so much, and look at you riding around this heat. How do you do it? Like, tell me about your workout routine, sir. Like, what? What are we talking about? So I never did any of that. I just kept it moving and grooving. I'm not interested. Go about your day. But then I'm never going to be the type of girl to be like, look at yo, wide tooth, middle gap having. Do you even brush your teeth, ass? Is that your tongue? Is it all white like do that because I'm not trying to get killed. I'm not like that. I think there's a force to everything, and I think that is still a force reaction. Like that is too much because you don't know other people and how they tend to react. So anyway, so I'm going about my mission, and I already know. Oh, this isn't over. Oh, you thought that was it? You thought you passed that test, Maxine? Continue what you've been taught. Continue. So I knew what was next, right? So what was next was basically, as I kept continuing walking towards the next sets of homes, I could feel him still looking at me. I could feel him still riding, quote unquote, at this point, riding his bicycle, but it's still not. You're not going far. Like, are you at this point? Are you just wobbling on it, like while your feet's down on the ground? What's going on? His head is still like, just like exorcism turned towards me, just so completely clueless and unbothered with any incoming trafficking that's coming his way. Okay, like he has no care or concern because he's hoping to catch another opportunity to say something to me if I turn my head closer enough and like all that. So I'm like, oh my God. I don't know what he kept on saying afterwards. He kept on trying to whisper. At this point, I didn't give him any attention. Like, like, no, you about to get me mad. At this point, you're pissing me off. Okay? And so he's driving further or riding further, and he's actually going away. So this time I'm realizing, okay, it's over. He's finally leaving me alone, but he's still turned toward me. Still, there's a hope, there's a chance type of thing. But he was further along at this point, and I screamed, not interested. Not interested. I don't know if he heard it, but I did say it loud enough. So, and then he finally just went away. You know, he went that opposite direction and came back with 3 niggas. Okay. And that's how I got sick. No, anyway, I just brought that up as a funny part of the story. But I think something about me walking outside in that heat, maybe it incited something, and I don't know what it could have incited. So the next day, I instantly feel this. Let me watch this. Oh, I seen that. This sounds so cute. The next day, I realized that, oh, bitch, I'm aching. I'm thinking, like, I already had my period. It can't be that. It cannot be my period. I'm not having 2 periods in a month. You gotta be kidding me. So I'm just taking a bag. I'm having like muscular aches. So it's not period pain type of cramps anyway. So it's muscular aches. I'm experiencing a headache. At the time, I didn't realize it was a migraine. So I'm like, oh my God, this is really painful. And I had planned to go out with my friend Ashley for Taco Tuesday. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe if I give it a couple of hours, this pain will subside. It's not going to be a big deal, yada, yada, yada. Come to find out, no, it was a big deal. It definitely did not subside. And these symptoms included muscular aches. That the muscular aches only lasted for that day, actually. So I was like, okay, great. But throughout the 6-day ordeal before I ended up going to the hospital after just pure desperation, the migraines was just too much. It was taking a toll. And also the chills. So when the muscular aches went away, it was replaced with these chills that I would experience. Like I would have chills and hot flashes, not at the same time, but like almost back to back. And there was like probably 1 or 2 points throughout the day in that time frame when I felt regular body temperature, but it didn't last long, right? It was overcasted by these internal body temperature battleground that's happening. So I'm freaking out because I don't know what's going on with my body. I don't know what to do. I took an at-home COVID test, didn't have that. But even doing that was like, what the fuck am I doing at? What? Hello? Why am I doing that? I know COVID is still around, but no. It's funny because I never had COVID. And I'm thinking like, oh, okay, well, maybe this is just the time, maybe this is just my time to have it and to just have that notch on my belt type of thing. But I never had it. At least I never had it officially. Let's say that, because other times when maybe I could have had it, I never got tested. So I know that for those times, for those moments, I've gotten tested before, but yeah, I got tested like a couple of times. I always came out negative. And yeah, I came out negative for this one at-home COVID test, because you know what's so interesting is all the testing appointment availabilities that was so readily available, gone. All of that is not here anymore. And it's so deceiving because you see on CVS.com and Walgreens, COVID-19 testing here. Okay, you click the link, you go through all that whole questionnaire and everything. They say, oh, available dates, and click the date that you want. Click the type of procedure that you want. Even if you check all three, right, just to keep your options open. Okay, they list out the stores available, the Walgreens in the area that you're near to that are available on that date. And you click it, you click the link to select available times. It says, sorry, there are no times available for that day. I'm like, okay, maybe it was just that one. The next one, say the same thing. The next one, say the same thing. Oh, so y'all act like y'all still do it, but y'all really don't. Like, what is this facade about? So I get to the Walgreens. I'm like, what? What's going on? She's like, oh, yeah, we accept only online appointment schedules. I'm like, well, I didn't even bother to go back and forth with her. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Do you guys have at-homes? I didn't want to just do it by myself. So I go to the front of, anyway, I was able to get an at-home test. So that helped me out. I got the test results within that 15 minutes or by 15 minutes. And yeah, it's negative. So I'm like, okay, it's not COVID. That scratches it off. Like, it would have been good to have known what it was and just like expect for, next few days, it'll just die down. That's what they say. Yada, 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 whatever. So, but it's not it. So I'm like, okay, maybe I have a fever. Oh, okay, it's a fever. So I'm like, wait, I remember on Monday I went out and walked around in the sun, but I've done that so many times in Houston before, but I don't recall those times being like necessarily heat advisory times. But I didn't spend like an hour outside completely unscathed. Like, come on. Like, I wasn't irresponsible like that. But in my head, I really thought, oh my gosh, what if I have a heat stroke. So I'm looking online, heat stroke. Oh my gosh, if you have a heat stroke, call 911. Like, it's just this crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh, should I have called 911 by now? What if my last days are coming up? Like, I'm just freaking out. Anyway, I realized the pain was just not going away. The symptoms were just not going away. I tried to just push through with it with some natural remedies, which help after a while. You know, with natural remedies, it don't kick in as quick as it can when you want to get that needle in that vein. Get in there, right? Is there a natural way to do that, to just kind of shoot me up? Like, hello, is there? Because at this point, I'll do that. I'll go to class for that. Hello? Because if I had to take a pill, and that's the thing also with pills, over-the-counter medicine, you still got to wait just an initial 30 minutes to finally receive the effects of this temporary pain relief. And it's temporary, right? I want that shit to long last. Not even long. I want that shit to treat. So it doesn't really, like, I want this gone. I had all these symptoms for the past 6 days now. I'm ready for it to be over. Okay? So I was done. So I was like, okay, well, first thing in the morning, Maxine, if you still feel the same way, and by this time it's Sunday, if I still feel this way on Monday, I'm going to go to the hospital. I went to sleep Sunday night at 10 p.m., like around like 10:15, 10:20. Oh my gosh. I went to sleep. It was so hard for me to even get to sleep because, so I don't know if I exactly went to sleep at 10:20. It was just around that time. It was within the 10 o'clock mark. And I was like, I'm having a hard time breathing. Like, I'm having shortness of breath. My speech feels slurred even more because, I can't control, like, my breath, my breath work at all. And it's making me afraid. So I remember going to sleep, feeling my heart beating really, really fast, knowing my breath work is where it's at this moment. And I'm like, but I have to go to sleep too, right? Like, you said, Maxine, we'll go up to the hospital first thing in the morning. So I didn't last until 2 hours. I woke up at 12:22 exactly. And I sit up and I'm like, I still feel horrible. Like, I still feel in pain. Thankfully the migraine wasn't as present anymore. So I was able to kind of sit up and like open my eyes a bit and kind of move them around, but I was still experiencing everything else: the chills, the hot flashes, the neck pain, the nausea. I haven't vomited since like 2 days prior, and I had enough. And I was also kind of filling myself up with fear even more and anxiety because I'm thinking, is this it? Because the whole like shortness of breath felt extreme this time, and my heartbeat was beating. Yeah, and that was another thing. My heartbeat was beating so fast, and I'm like, I don't know. Oh my gosh, this is like, So I'm already freaking out. I'm okay. You know what? I'm gonna go to the hospital now. But, there's always a protocol, right? So I called the hospital that I was gonna go to. I'm like, hi, I was just wondering, I'm experiencing a couple of symptoms that I've been having for the past few days now, and if I could come in right now, is there a hospital? Is there a doctor available right on the scene to help treat me? Oh yes, I'm so happy for good customer service, because if I would receive some bullshit as I didn't want to be here, I only get paid minimum wage as worker, is like, okay, I'll just stay in my room and figure it out, right? I'll stay in my apartment and figure it out. And so I'm like, okay. So thankfully she was very sweet. I even asked her about so how was the parking there? Like, girl, you think you about to die? You worry about that? But they had valet, so I was like, okay, y'all, great. I'll just do the valet. Yeah, it's actually electronically advanced. There's an app for it, and apparently I do remember that I've been to that hospital a few times before for different tests and stuff. So I do remember their parking system. It's very fancy. Like, oh my, it's like as soon as you enter the facility, you're in this Wi-Fi lane, and it recognizes you as someone who's used it before, and you'll get a text message. Welcome back to our Metropolis parking lot. Anyway, I'm doing all this before I'm thinking about to die. So no. I'm like also saying, well, look, I gotta clean out my fridge. Because I was trying to also give myself some hope. Like, no, I'm not gonna die. They're probably just gonna keep me for like maybe a day or two. And I would hate to return back to my home and have smelly ass, like my trash can was getting filled at this point. There was some foods in there that is creating a smell that's pungent, and I want to just take the trash out and also take out any food in the fridge that I no longer need to have in the fridge, considering if I stayed for 2 days and I need to clean it out. And let me go ahead and run the dishwasher to get this load already out and done and ready, so when I return, I could just easily, load the cabinets up. I'm gonna go ahead and put some dishwasher detergent in my trash can so that it smells good when I return. And I did all of that. Yes, I did. I did it quickly enough, but still within the pace that I could do it at that time. Because again, I was standing up very uncomfortably. Couldn't have had any at all stability the way that I have now. So thank God for just growth. Anyway, so I make it to the hospital. I'm so happy that the team that took care of me they were awesome. I gave them a real just love in that moment, because they had to, at the end point of everything that they gave me, and things were like definitely just going up, and they put the fluids in me, and it definitely healed what needed to be healed. They realized that my potassium is extremely low, like extremely deficient. No one ever told me that before. Like, what the fuck? What? Y'all didn't say that before in all the other tests that I did. No one said that. It was always a typical, what was it? Iron. Yes, iron was always the one I would get. Oh, your iron levels. I know. It's just always been. Next. Like, we could do some iron pills. I don't want to take iron pills anymore because that shit don't be working, and it's a waste of my goddamn time. Next. Anything else? Okay, thank you. So whatever. But I guess I should work on that too. But I don't know what other iron. When I think of iron, I only think of like meaty stuff, and I'm not even trying to eat meat like that, like for real, when I think about it now. But anyway, yeah, he's like, yeah, your potassium level's really, really low. And they concluded that to be the reason why I was experiencing all the symptoms that I was experiencing. That's their conclusion. Medical practice It's still a practice, and I just hope that they were right. But either way, when they gave me the refill of potassium straight into my fluid, it took away the symptoms. Like it helped. Like I don't feel the symptoms anymore. I am searching up different recipes of different meals that I can make that is more potassium rich. And I'm also gonna look into iron rich stuff too. I'll do that too. So I'll do that too. And just like think of more stuff like that to just I just don't ever want to feel that way again, ever. So if I could just keep that as a reminder and a motivator for myself and just do that to continue to search for new ways to live and eat, then I'll be fine. But so that's the update, y'all. That's why I was unable to record last Friday's episode. So I do apologize if you missed me and was wondering, hey, what happened? And in case you missed the Instagram announcement that I also posted on God Built This Pod on Instagram. I did post it there. So yeah, that is just a brief synopsis, as brief as I could. What was that? 36 minutes? That is pretty good, you guys. I would spend a good 45 minutes talking about what happened on the skating ring in 2003. Before we get into anything else, let's talk about why polo shirts should not be an item that could be worn at a skating ring anymore. I would spend 45 minutes. So this is growth. Okay. Brooklyn pastor robbed at gunpoint at church. Now, when I first heard this, I didn't hear the at church part. And I'm also not the type of person, I don't like to watch videos of scary, real life scary stuff. Oh my God, this happened in real life. I don't really like stuff like that. That's oof. It kind of takes things to a different level in my head. I feel like it just makes it not as comfortable or fun to watch, knowing that there are real people who are being hurt here. And I'm just watching it for my entertainment and I'm reposting it. I just feel like that, people be so quick to be like, you have to repost to show your support. That's what it's all about. And we live in an age where, shut up. Some things should just not be. And I feel like aside from, sure, news outlets, but I mean, look, who could say if you're not a news outlet, right? I guess that's a good point, because people use different ways to express themselves, and people come to different outlets to find an expression of a type of news that's been going viral lately. And hey, I want to hear what this personality has to say, or I want to hear what this influencer has to say, or I want to hear what my friend has to say about this. Girl, you saw this video? Okay, let me make an announcement. Or girl, you should make an announcement about so yeah, I guess whatever. Defeats what I'm about to say. But personally for me, I just wouldn't feel comfortable just watching a video just on leisure. It's just not my cup of tea. But anyway, there is a video out. But prior to me knowing there was even a video out and listening to the whole thing, I was just thinking well, was he walking around somewhere? Was this on the street type of thing? So I'm okay, that's weird. So come to find out, yeah, it was at a church. And what happened? It was at a church. And apparently, if you look into, let me see if I could find some information about the pastor. Because from what I heard about the pastor was that prior to him pastoring, and there's a lot of pastors who have started off on the wrong track of the field, right? Like, very kind of rugged, was influenced by the wrong group of people, or maybe was the influencer for the wrong group of people. And he finally got jail time for it. And in jail, he turned his life around, gave it up to God, and decided to go completely ministry right after his right after his release. And I feel like this is a natural route that many pastors take who are from that background. So I don't necessarily find that to be problematic. I don't. Because I feel like I do think anybody can worship God, right? Like, it's not exclusive to one group of people. Like, oh, you a gangster, you can't worship God. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, even people like, we all worship God, right? And we're all technically sinners, right? If you want to go down that rabbit hole. But the point is, God is not reserved for a certain group of people, worshiping God and leading others to worship God is not reserved to a type of person. It's not reserved to a type of physical person, let's say at that very least, right? It's also not reserved for people who are from a particular tax bracket. Like, that's not the case either. Like, you could be wealthy, poor, middle class, wherever you fall, and still find fire to worship God. And not just worship him, but lead a flock and have a church of your own, yada, yada, yada. Well, this one, though, let's go ahead and look into his little background. Let's look into his background. Okay. So now they're getting into just the aesthetic that he has. But I want to get... Okay, so... this is crazy. Let me start off with that. So anyway, I was watching something else because I don't feel like looking forward too much either. Apparently his background is that he went to prison for however long he did for scamming niggas. That was his charge. He's a scammer. And the joke that the guy was saying on this show that I watch, he was saying, he's a scammer. He knows how to scam. That's like his part of his identity, So like like a once a scammer, twice a scam, once a scammer, always a scammer type of thing, which is just, damn, you can't be over that. My thing is, like, once you learn how to craft a skill, whether you don't want to, like, you don't feel like it's moral of you to do it anymore, you don't find justification for it anymore, you could still do it because you are so good at it. So if you just needed a quick lick, if you just needed just a couple of 100 ups, then you're going to find a way to do that. And you're going to scam your way to do that to get that money now. It's my money and I want it now. So allegedly, he set this whole thing up. Allegedly, this was an inside job to create an insurance claim in order to get more money, right? In order to scam someone else, a bigger conglomerate, of course, not just the church people, the little wee church people who you're making money off of. You're also going to make money off of insurance conglomerates, which, people do that all the time, which is whatever. No offense, whatever. So anyway, he made it so elaborate that he's scheduled to he's so stupid. He made it so elaborate to schedule to schedule it to have it on Instagram Live. Was it Instagram Live or let me see. Well, it was on someone's video recording, and they were able to use it as evidence, I guess, to prove something. You know how sometimes with, oh, I was robbed, I was taken advantage of. Is there any type of evidence that could support your claims? Oh, yes, I have it right here, ma'am. From top to bottom, it's a 13-minute clip, and I have everything you need is here. Yes, I am innocent. When can I receive my $90,000 payout? Huh? Can I receive it by next week? Is that okay? Can I receive an advancement? So anyway, it's apparent that it's appearing to be that this is a scam of a scam to scam. He also goes around ratting in Brooklyn in the faces of people who are not, of some people there who are not living as large, right? And I think that is also just a faux pas that some like new money niggas, and not just niggas as in black men or, just black people in general. It's just new money people. Like when they get into just this air of new money, of course they want to ball out every chance they get because, wow, I've been wanting this for so long. And on one hand, I get it. But on the other hand, particularly if you're a black man, and maybe even if you're a black woman, and you're not as familiar of your surroundings, I just think you have to be mindful of where you are and not be too flashy, right? And it's always like, you gotta be classy at the same time. You can't be very quick to show off every designer purse you have. You can't be quick to show off every new new products you get. Like, it's just, girl, what? It's not. Add a little bit here or there. Not every part of your body needs to be decked out. You got Rolls, you got Rolex on, you got Gucci down from Sunnies to your top, your blazer. So anyway, he's rolling around in Brooklyn, driving a Rolls Royce. Let's see. Look at the neighborhood. The nigga thought the cook could get rich off the hood and then roll up and stunt every Sunday. So like that's funny. So like throughout the week, apparently he looks very fresh and very much high roller. Yet on Sunday, he kind of calms it down a bit to kind of convince his audience more and more why it's important to give and let me hold your money. Let me hold it down. And so when they follow that and they give him something, that something helps with whatever it helps with. I don't know how much they give. I don't know how many congregants he have. It's just all just a ridiculous thing. I definitely agree. I think it's a scam. I think so. Damn. I think it's all a scam. And I just feel sorry for every party involved. I feel sorry for every party involved, from the scammers to the congregants who didn't know about this. And now they have to just deal with the after effect of like, wait, did we really get robbed? Or like, who is that? Like, how you just walk into a church with a gun and now your congregants who say they weren't in on it, right? Which I assume they weren't. They're now feeling afraid as heck to go back to that church. Like, okay, this church is over then. I am not restricted to this church. Do y'all have a live Zoom version at the very least? Because I will not be returning. You know, where's the security? Did it not look like a church on the out? Did it not look like a church on the outside? Because I don't know. Like, for Black people, you know, we don't do mass shootings for the most part. The one that I could remember is the one about that father and son tag team, like that crazy ass story. But other than that, we don't do mass shootings, and we definitely don't do it at a church, because that is where many of us grew up in, and whether we agree with the doctrines or not, we have a respect level for it. So we wouldn't walk into a church building that looked like a church building. So now I'm thinking, did it not look like a church building? But even then, even if it doesn't look like a church building, it's not a McDonald's, right? It's not a storefront building that will make you think, oh, if I go up in here, they could give me $800 from the register. Because you go to a church to rob it, what are you getting? Like, there's no, probably the tithes. But they probably forget that things are very digitized now. Like, you don't have to take out cash payment, put it in an envelope, and put it in a box and bless that box and give it to the front. No, you just, hey, scan this Scantron with your phone. Decide which tithe, love offering, donation, building fund note you will want to give, and click submit. Like, that's it. Things are definitely, at least secure in that way. So I'm happy that, whatever. It was a scam. So I don't think anyone got hurt. It's fucked up, though. You shouldn't do that because people shouldn't have to deal with just the after effects of being lied to. Like, wait, I just went down this roller coaster of emotions, and you mean to tell me it was all for a lie? Yeah, I'm ratting you out, nigga. I'm ratting you out. All right, you guys. I'm just going to end the episode here. I'm sorry if it's too short for you. I tried to record 2 times before, but there was something. I think I kicked something by accident and just stopped recording. And I just didn't have the energy to continue. So, I kept on going like 3-4 times. So this is the 4th recording. I'm like, I want to record for tomorrow's episode. I missed everyone. So yeah, this is what we have. As you know, there will be a Friday episode. So if this wasn't enough, look forward to Friday, of course. And be sure to tell a friend to tell a friend. Support this podcast by giving a strong positive rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Anchor. Thank you so much, and I'll check in with you guys next time. Peace. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of God Built This Podcast with your host, Maxine. Be sure to leave a review, give me 5 stars, and of course, subscribe. Also, follow God Built This Podcast on Instagram at God Built This Pod. God bless.